Assalamualaikum. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss ecofeminism in South Asian literature in a digital society. The term ecofeminism, a combination of ecology and feminism, is a stream of feminism that identifies and studies the connections between ecology, nature, and the female gender. This approach draws on the foundations of feminist equality between genders, providing a lens for critiquing patriarchal structures that work in conjunction with capitalist-led environmental degradation. Emphasizing instinct and participation, ecofeminism promotes a commitment to environmentalism along with awareness of the structure of gender relations in society. This panel will focus on the development of ecofeminist consciousness in Urdu literature, analyzing modern writings by South Asian women that fall in this genre. The ecofeminist lens also allows us to return and reinterpret women's literature, opening up important questions about the linkages between feminism and literary culture in a contemporary South Asia. ecofeminism या माहौलियाती तानीसियत की तहरीक के सवालात लिबरल फेमिनिज्म से मुख्तलिफ हैं क्योंकि बुनियादी तौर पर यहाँ औरत की बगावत नहीं और ना ही वो मज़ाहमत देखने को मिलती है जो आम अफराद को खटकती है, बल्कि इस फ़िक्र में हर आवाज़ ख्वाह वो किसी भी मज़ाहमती शक्ल में पेश की गई हो नेचर से सरोकार रखती है। पदरसरी हिकमत अमलियों और सियासतों के ख़िलाफ़ भी इस तहरीक का डिस्कोर्स इस सूरत में वाज़े होता है जब नेचर उजड़ रही हो, खेत कलियान तबाह हो रहे हों और आलमी माशी पॉलिसियों की वजह से ज़मीन के चेहरे की शादाबी पामाल हो रही हो। ज़मीन और कोख में एक फितरी रब्त है जिसे मर्दों की मर्दानावार जंगें उजाड़ती रहती हैं। सरमायादाराना मुहिम जो कल्चर हरियाली का हुस्न समझने से कासिर है, वो अपने मकसद के हुसूल की खातिर दरख्त काट कर हथियार बनाता है और ज़मीन के दूसरे बच्चों को कारखाने का ईंधन बनाता है। ताकतवर हथियार काट के कल्चर को फ़रोग़ देता है, जबकि नेचर और औरत पैदावारी रिश्तों में बुनियादी किरदार अदा करती हैं। मगर इतने अहम किरदार के बाद भी औरत और नेचर दूसरी कमतर और गैर अहम ही रहती है। आज इस मौजू को डिस्कस करने के लिए हमारे पास प्रोग्रेसिव राइटर्स एसोसिएशन के सदर हैं मिस्टर रज़ा नईम। मिस्टर रज़ा नईम ऑथर हैं, सोशल साइंटिस्ट हैं, क्रिटिक है, ट्रांसलेटर हैं और एक बेहतरीन इंसान है। और आज हमारे साथ वो यहाँ स्टेज पे होंगे और ये डिस्कस करेंगे एकोफेमिनिज़म और साउथ एशियन लिटरेचर में उसकी मौजूदा दौर में हैसियत। डॉक्टर हुमैरा इशफाक जो कि रिसर्च फ़ेलो हैं SDPI में और फ़िलहाल फ़ॉरेन स्टडीज़ डिपार्टमेंट यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ बीजिंग में पढ़ा रही हैं, वो हमें स्काइप पे ज्वाइन करेंगी। डॉक्टर ज़ू याम जो कि चाइनीज़ हैं लेकिन उर्दू लिटरेचर से इंटरेस्ट रखती हैं और वो रिसर्च कर रही हैं इस वक्त लिटरेचर इन पाकिस्तान में, फ़ॉरेन स्टडीज़ डिपार्टमेंट यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ बीजिंग में ही होती हैं। मिस नुसरत ज़हरा हैं जो कि राइटर हैं, पोइट हैं, कल्चरल एक्टिविस्ट हैं और कल्चर और लैंग्वेज राइट्स के लिए लड़ रही हैं इस समाज में इस दौर में। मिस यमुना हसनी हमें एज अ डिस्कसेंट ज्वाइन करेंगी। मिस यमुना हसनी रेडियो पाकिस्तान के साथ एफिलिएटेड हैं और लिटरेचर कॉर्नर के नाम एंड मच मोर के नाम से प्रोग्राम करती हैं FM 101 पे। और मिस खावर मुमताज़ हमें चेयर करेंगी, उनको किसी इंट्रोडक्शन की ज़रूरत नहीं है। मैं दरख्वास्त करूँगी कि आप प्लीज़ हमें स्टेज पे ज्वाइन कीजिए क्योंकि इतने जयद और बड़े बड़े नाम हमारे दरमियान मौजूद हैं, इससे आगे मेरा बोलना बनता नहीं है। तो मिस खावर मुमताज़ से मैं दरख्वास्त करूँगी कि वो सेशन को चेयर करें और आगे इसको लेके जाएं। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत शुक्रिया आपका और यहाँ पर जो मौजूद हैं सब लोगों का अस्सलाम वालेकुम और खुशामदीद करती हूँ और इस बात को बहुत वेलकम करती हूँ कि इस मौजू पे ये एक सेशन रखा गया है। मेरा नहीं ख्याल कि पहले कभी इस मौजू पे SDPI या कहीं और भी इसको ज़ेर बहस लाया गया होगा इस मौजू को। इसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा पाकिस्तान में शायद आगाही भी नहीं है कि इकोफेमिनिज़म होती क्या है और हालांकि यहाँ पर जो कुछ जो फेमिनिस्ट हैं और जो इन्वायरमेंटलिस्ट हैं वो इस रिलेशनशिप को पहचानते हैं, लेकिन काम हमारे यहाँ मेरे ख़्याल से कम हुआ है, और लिटरेचर में देखने का तो मेरे ख़्याल से कभी किसी ने इतनी पहल भी नहीं की। तो इसलिए खुशी होती है कि यहाँ पर ये एक पहली दफ़ा एक इनिशिएट हो रहा है डिस्कशन, जो कि होने की ज़रूरत भी है। हम सब जानते हैं कि ये जो लिंक है ख़वातीन के हुकूक़ की, ख़वातीन की फेमिनिस्ट स्ट्रगल तो बहुत सालों से चल रहा है और हम उसके मुख्तलिफ़ अदवार भी देखते हैं, लेकिन ये ज़रा ज़्यादा रीसेंट डिस्कशन है जिसमें कि एनवायरनमेंट और फेमिनिस्ट जेंडर पर्सपेक्टिव से देखा गया है कि हमेशा बात होती है कि औरतें नेचुरल रिसोर्स मैनेजर्स हैं, क्योंकि पानी का घर में इस्तेमाल करने वाला पानी है या फ्यूल है या फॉडर है, ये ख़वातीन की ही ज़िम्मेदारी समझी जाती है, लेकिन कभी इस नज़र से नहीं देखा गया कि वो ज़िम्मेदारी, वो जो रिलेशनशिप है, जब माहौल बदलता है तो उस पर उनके ऊपर क्या असर होता है, और जो माहौल जितनी तेज़ी से बदल रहा है अब दुनिया में, उसका क्या असर औरतों पे होता है और उनकी उसके हवाले से क्या राइट्स बनती हैं। तो मारिया मीस हैं, इंडिया की वंदना शिवा हैं, बीना अग्रवाल हैं, इन लोगों ने बहुत कुछ लिखा है। और जहाँ तक रेजिस्टेंस का सवाल है, तो जो चिपको का मूवमेंट जिसको सारी दुनिया जानती है, वो ख़वातीन ने ही शुरू किया था। और मुझे इत्तेफाक हुआ कि मैं हिंदुस्तान में उस इलाके में जो उस वक्त, अब तो शायद कुछ और कहलाता है, वो तराई में जो हिमालयस के जो स्टेट है, वहाँ पर जाने का इत्तेफाक हुआ। वहाँ पर जो एक लोकल एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट जिनका नाम बहुत समझा जाता है, बहुगुना जी, उनके गांव में वहाँ पर औरतें जो थीं, उन्होंने तकरीबन पूरा टेक ओवर किया हुआ था जो वहाँ का जंगल था उसकी मैनेजमेंट। और उन्होंने ये भी बताया था कि किस तरह से जब मर्द तो शौक़ में बड़े खुशी से जंगल काटने के कि उसमें बिलीव करते थे और सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, इन लोगों ने, औरतों ने बचाया था अपना जंगल। तो वहाँ मैंने पहली दफ़ा देखा कि किस तरह से बच्चों के स्कूल के गानों में माहौल की प्रोटेक्शन के हवाले से गाने थे, और किस तरह से वो ख़वातीन का पॉइंट ऑफ रेफरेंस ही उनका जंगल था और उनके जो इख्तियारात थे उस जंगल के। तो उस वक्त ये एक जैसे एक्टिविस्ट ख़वातीन, गाँव की अनपढ़ ख़वातीन की अपने एक्टिविज़म देखी थी। तो इस वक्त मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि यहाँ पर हम ज़रा सा लिटरेचर को उस नज़र से देख रहे हैं कि उस लिटरेचर में क्या मौजूद है। तो शुरू हम करते हैं रज़ा नईम साहब से। उनका इंट्रोडक्शन तो आपने सुना है, ये क्रिटिक भी हैं और ट्रांसलेटर भी हैं और बड़ी इंसाइसिवली बात भी करते हैं। चलिए रज़ा, ज़रा बताइए आप क्या बात करना चाह रहे हो, किस हवाले से।
Thank you very much to the SDPI organizers for accepting my abstract and making it possible for me to come here and talk about one of the towering writers of the progressive movement in the 20th century. I think this is a timely occasion because we are still in the middle of the 16-day activism campaign against gender violence, which started on the 25th of November with the International Day Against Gender Violence against women, and it will end next week on the 10th of December with the Human Rights Day. Also, December has a lot of resonance for the subject of my research, because on the 18th of December it will be 40 years since Razia Sajjad Zahir passed away, so this is very timely. There are a few disclaimers. This paper passed through a lot of iterations. I must congratulate Ahmad Salim Sahab and Dr. Humaira for this panel. I think a couple of years ago I was here to talk about Isma Chughtai, so it is my privilege to talk about her contemporary Razia Sajjad Zahir, about whom not a lot is known. When I was working on this paper, my idea was that I'm going to have one writer from Pakistan who writes on ecofeminism, because there are writers who are writing, and one writer from India. But I was in conversation with the panel authors, and they said that we want to focus on Razia, Sajjad, Zahir. And when I began researching on this paper, I thought, even people don't know about Razia, Sajjad, Zahir. What to talk about ecofeminism? Even some of her contemporaries don't know about her. This is very strange, given that while she was alive, she held her own against the likes of Rashid Jahan, who was her predecessor, and even Ismat Chughtai, who was a contemporary. But just 40 years after her death, even her contemporaries have forgotten. So then the focus of my paper changed. I thought maybe the panel needs to know more about Razia Sajjad Zahir, and maybe at the end of my presentation, I am going to talk about her eco-feminist novel Allah Meg De. Which is, basically, her best known novel. Uh, okay, so what was it like before Razia Sajjad Zahir started writing? She was born in the year of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia in 1917, and she passed away after relatively short life, in 1979. And 100 years have passed since the dawn of women on the horizon of Urdu literature. A few more female poets may have appeared in poetic literatures, but prose remained without the jewels of their pen for centuries. As soon as education for females began to be customized among the middle class, women too started writing. And of course, Muhammadi Begum and Begum Bhopal were the father Adam of Baba Adam jinko hum kehte hain, of women writing. And they indeed took out the magazines like Tehzeeb-e-Niswa and Zill al-Sultan, and then one after the other. On one hand, the quantity of female writers began to increase, and on the other, feminine magazines in which these women wrote. And what were they writing? They were writing essays on social, religious, domestic, and educational issues. They were writing reformist types of poems and the odd ghazal, and they were also writing stories as serialized novels. And of course, the major feminine magazines of the period were Ismat, Noor Jahan, Saheli, Khatun, and many more. Uh, and the important thing about these women writers was that they were not very, did not attain very high degrees, but they knew their language very well. They possessed a deep compassion for the nation and their fellow women, and through education. To create awakening among women and protect their rights, and to make sure of this, they considered their responsibility. And among these new crop of women writers were people like Tayyiba Begum, Nafis Dulhan, Atiya Faizi, Zohra Faizi, Sughra Humayun Mirza, Khujista Sohrawardi. They are very famous. And these women also started creating novels along with short stories, and advanced in this field with great speed. And later on, they started writing novels, which became very popular among the educated class of women. Who were these novelist women? Tayyiba Begum, Abbasi Begum, Walida Afzal Ali, Khatun, Nazar Sajjad Haider. Gudar Ka Lal is, of course, a very iconic novel now, written by Walida Afzal Ali. The name Walida Afzal Ali tells you that even to write for a woman under her own name was proscribed at that time. तो वो वालदा अफजल अली के नाम से वो जानी जाती थी. Such was the injustice of the period, but women somehow survived, and then you had people like Shaukat Ara Begum, Hirma Naseeb, Zohra, Akhtarun Nisa, and after a short while we had the short stories and novels of Hijab Ismail, who later on achieved fame as Hijab Imtiaz Ali Taj. And she was, of course, the first woman in the subcontinent to be a full pilot. We don't normally quote her on that, but she actually had a pilot's license. So women were writing novels, they were flying planes as well. So this was the milieu and period in which Razia Dilshad came of age. later on to be famous as Razia Sajjad Zahir. And as soon as she did so, she read, heard, understood, thought about all these books, and a desire for writing too emerged in her own heart. Even in the 1930s, when Razia Sajjad Zahir was barely in her teens, her friend Saleha Abid Hussain recalls that she had friends among the poor Sayyidanis of Ajmer because she belonged to Ajmer Sharif. You know, Razia Sajjad Zahir's family belonged to Ajmer. So these destitute women used to live by tying up moon-shaped baskets called chandariyas and earning 2 to 4 annas. So even at that time, even in her teens, such was the compassion of Razia Sajjad Zahir that, she had links with the poor women in Ajmer. And one of these girls was a very close friend of Razia. Even at that time, she had these germs in that she used to establish relations of love and loyalty with the poor and lower class girls. So Razia Sajjad Zahir began by publishing brief essays in Tehzeeb-e-Niswa. After a long period where Razia suffered from fever, she recovered, and during the course of a conversation, Razia's father, Sayyid Raza Hussain, he had this conversation with the husband of Razia's childhood friend, Saleha Abid Hussain. The former told that Razia's match was being considered for a person called Sajjad Zahir. And Abid Hussain had very old and deep relations with the household of Raza Hussain Sahab, and he loved Banne Bhai, who of course was the pen name of Sajjad Zahir, like a younger brother. He was also aware of the political ideas and pursuits of Sajjad Zahir, as well as those of Sayyid Raza Hussain. So he said, Sayyid Sahab, weren't you in search of some ICS officer? Banne is my dear brother, but he is a full communist. How did you agree to this match? And this is an anecdote. Sayyid Sahab smiled. Abid Sahab, my girl will straighten him out. This is what Razia Sajjad Zahir's father said to the childhood, the husband of Razia Sajjad Zahir's childhood friend. So Razia Sajjad Zahir got married, and the world did see that the matter happened in the opposite direction. Actually, Razia held progressive views from a very long time before marriage, and she adopted the beliefs and ideas of Banne Bhai in such a manner that the difference of me and you, Mano tu, did not remain anymore. She suffered every difficulty in the world in her love for him. She bore tribulations, loneliness, many years of loneliness, it must be said, but neither did she ever ask him to withdraw from his principles, nor she even gave an explanation of her problems and miseries. She was the darling of the entire household, brought up in ease and affluence, the girl whose life was spent in ease and comfort, but passed through such a tough test just a few years after marriage that it has occurred with very few women of that class. Ladies and gentlemen, but the self-respect of Razia Sajjad Zahir did not ask anyone for help, never complained before anybody. She kept providing for her 4 daughters their expenses by teaching in the Karamat Hussain Girls College, and the love which existed between Banne Bhai and Razia was not just emotional, it was intellectual as well. A husband and wife who are like-minded friends as well. Nobody can measure the depth of their love. Would that Banne Bhai loved his beliefs more than Razia, but for Razia, her partner was dearer to her than anything else in the world. Razia Sajjad Zahir was a progressive. She held communist views. She was one of the few women who was a full-time worker of the Communist Party. Even the Communist Party in India doesn't celebrate her anymore, but this has to be said. She and her husband were like-minded. She also used to guide the youth, but she possessed a strange softness and tenderness. This softness was a part of her personality and also mixed with her tone. Her style had the warmth of motherhood. She also respected the views of others in this regarding her religious and social traditions. To an extent, was also an attribute of her character. She was not rigid or extremist. Razia had started writing while she was very young, and even before marriage she had become quite famous as Razia Dilshad. But whatever was begun as fondness, that too eventually remained our art. Not just art, but a source of livelihood for her as well. When Banne Bhai was there, which wealth indeed did they possess? And then when he was on death row in Pakistan for many years, at that time, apart from her daughters, Her pen was her only sole support of life. I think that teaching was not really such a favorite pastime of Razia Sajjad Zahir, although her students used to remember her anxiously for many years afterwards. Her real field indeed was the service of literature. A translator like Dr. Abid Hussain used to like Razia's translations and encourage her, and this was no mean feat. Razia Sajjad Zahir translated more than 40 titles into from different languages into Urdu, and among them are people like Cengiz Aitmatov, who is one of the great Soviet writers, and Bertolt Brecht. I think this is a point which we normally don't take into account when we talk about the accomplishments of women writers like Razia Sajjad Zahir Sahiba. Her translations were liked and encouraged, and this was no mean feat. For in a way, translation is more difficult than creation. When the translation is so smooth and informal that one suspects it to be the creation, then it is said to be a good translation. During this time, Razia's pen kept writing short stories, sketches, speeches, and novels. The stories and sketches were broadcast on radio, published in journals, narrated in gatherings, and the novels were also published in book form. Suman and Allah Make They are her famous and popular novels. She wrote about 6 to 7 novels, and one of her novels was an unfinished life of Majaz Lakhnavi, whose death anniversary actually falls today, December 5th. When Banne Bhai arrived from Pakistan, then Razia also left Lucknow to settle in Delhi. This period of a few years was the golden age of Razia's life. Two loving and beloved husband and wife were busy in their own respective tasks in a small, beautiful flat with their daughters, a lot of books, few but essential items of furniture in peace. Razia Sajjad Zahir kept doing translations, writing. Banne Bhai remained busy in party work and leadership. But now every morning was joyful and every night a feast for Razia. God had brought them together after a separation of literally thousands of years. But alas, happiness did not suit Razia. One day, Banne Bhai quietly left for the eternal plane during a journey to Moscow. But she couldn't cry. She said, "I will be fine, don't worry." Yes, she didn't cry, but after Banne Bhai, some worry began to consume her from inside. Illnesses increased, she became weaker, hid her sorrow within her heart such that nobody got burnt from this fire breathing inside her. The fountainhead of creativity had still not dried. This was the only pleasure left to her. She passed away suddenly on December 18, 1979. Today she rests flanked by her beloved husband in Jamia Millia Islamia in Delhi. Now, if you talk about Razia Sajjad Zahir's work, she has written countless short stories and sketches. Countless indeed is maybe an exaggeration, but at least I do not know their count. Her novels did get published, but no collection of poetry of short stories was published in her lifetime. She wrote a short story, broadcast it, or at the most would send it to a journal, narrate it to her friends or admirers, and put it. The struggle required to have it published, how much time is to be given, the tantrums of publishers which have to be suffered, and during the process of publication, how many times it has to be read repeatedly, corrected. She neither had the time for it, nor did she have the mind. So these things remained as they were. Actually, Razia did not indeed possess the skill which leads one towards success, momentary fame, and a momentary success, and which nowadays becomes an art. She never had a book launch, did not use the tactics normally used for any prize, award, honor, did not have festivals celebrated in her honor. She was a tireless laborer of the pen who just kept on writing in whatever time she got. She must have known in her heart that she would be valued, if not today, then tomorrow. As per Hali, she did not know how to sell herself by sprinkling. उनको अपनी जान छड़क छड़क कर बेचना नहीं आता था, जिस तरह हाली साहब ने फरमाया. So in her collection Zard Gulab, the Yellow Rose, this is one of the few collections which was published by her family after she passed away. 18 short stories and sketches of Razia Sajjad Zahir are included. Some of them are lengthy, but not so lengthy as are the long short story of today is becoming. Some are brief, but not so brief that the story finishes in half a page. And most of them are those which hold true to the proper definition of a short story. Neither the length is increased for nothing by prolonging the conversation, nor important things are cut for want. These sketches and short stories are true highlights of life. One will find a lot less of the sorrow of the beloved, Ghame Jana, but sorrow of the age is to be found everywhere, Ghame Dora. These stories are dominated neither by romanticism, neither platonic epics of love and affection, nor preaching and propaganda dominate, and neither are such portraits of the peasant and worker drawn which we draw for name and fame, unknown, unseen, so that we can be accepted as progressive. This does not mean that these stories lack a taste of love, or the pain of the poor has not been felt, or there is not even the slightest reformism or propaganda in these stories. But what is there is spontaneous and comes from a very natural manner. These are the narratives and stories of those lives whom Razia has seen in close proximity, studied their character, evaluated their personality, and has felt their pain. They include servants, poor girls, helpless boys, love-struck unsuccessful wives, and many others, but no affectation in any of them. These are pencil-drawn sketches of these lives which have been dropped onto the sheet of paper with the severity of feeling, the heat of passion, and the flavor of heartburn, and then created an attractive gaudiness in them by filling with the rosiness of her heart's blood. These are things issuing from the heart, which descend into the people of the heart and force sensitive minds to ponder. Through all her stories, though all her stories carry effect and beauty within them, but some are such as if the writer has written them by giving away her heart. Tab or ab, then and now, and kuch to kahiye, do say something, do dil ek dastan, two hearts, one tale, the hurt to the heart from the deprivations of women and on emotional basis have been described in these stories with great merit. Patjhad mein phool, flowers in autumn, is the story of an artist who though sacrifices everything for his art, but on his 50th birthday, a woman brings flowers for him, and he gets to know that for more than 30 years she has hidden her love for him within her bosom. Then a shard of love also pierces within his heart. When that woman leaves after setting the flowers in the vase, and the vase breaks by a push from the artist. I would like to quote a paragraph here from that story. The story writer bent to pick up a piece of glass from the cover of the rosy shadow of the purple sunshine. Two Nargis flowers drenched in dew were seen, and on top of them the sharp edge of glass, which pierced, cut, could have bloodied at the slightest touch. With what beauty has the feeling of love been portrayed as emerging! In the same manner, the unique style of Kahani ki Kahani, story within a story, touches the heart. Sutoon, Pillar, and Langdi Momani, the crippled art, can be said to be the best sketches of this collection. In Sutoon, the mention of a poor old man, full of love, loyal servant who appears to be a family head and an elder more than a servant. His personality, even while being comical, is very affecting and beautiful. He has courage, determination, bravery. Though he has the determination to be the support of every helpless person, but he dies for his owner, is proud of her mistress. He is happy in her happiness and sad in her pain. Just see a little of the piece towards the end. I quote, "In these few years, once I cried rather than staying silent, restless with some tragedy. Tears boiled while writing. I placed the head on the table and extended my hand to put out the table lamp. Then I heard the light steps of Baba's feet. He looked at me closely, standing behind my chair. The bent shoulders bent a bit further. It seemed as if he could not believe that I could cry too. He said slowly, "You really are crying?" Uh, the aged eyes sunk into pits after the wrinkles of forehead below the white, rough hair cut very short, which have seen 65 destinations of life, were looking at me with grief and hopelessness, as if saying to me, "Arre, you turned out to be so less brave. Look at me. I looked after my child alone since he was 1.5 years old. He does not give me anything. Those whom I served for years left me to go to Pakistan. But I do not cry. I have no pension, no support for old age, no support of my hands, no support of my hands and no support, and my hands and feet tire easily. But I do not cry. I do love you because you bear everything and do not cry. You do not give up. Then why these tears today?" End quote. This is not a story but a complete picture which can be seen and evaluated. Its beauty cannot be explained. Ek Yaad, a memory, is another very effective sketch of an orphaned boy, and Langdi Mumani can be said to be among Razia's best few sketches. The total finesse of beauty and effect and its characterization can be understood after reading the whole story. So I will not present an extract from it here. I will say, however, that one does find such personalities in life, but seldom in stories. This is Razia's art, which has made that crippled lady immortal. Zard Gulab, the title story, The Yellow Rose, is one of Razia Sajjad Zahir's most successful stories. Some artist, by the force of the pen, by allusion, has shown the painful story of his love in a painting by revealing the loneliness of the yellow rose. And another artist, by understanding the pain and depth of this love story, has narrated it by using some more allusions and metaphors. One can guess the beauty with which this story has been composed. Yes. Sure. Okay, I'll just thank you. In her novel Allah Make Day, although she wrote 6 novels, but this is easily her best novel, and I would just like to quote from this novel, which will set the tone for this panel. Obviously, water is indeed man's greatest friend, as great a friend as fire. Yes, fire, electricity, water, all these are friends of man if they are managed, enemies if treated with carelessness. What is now a reality was once a dream of people. Could it have been done without my mother, who raised the foundation of the education of new generations all her life and now put me at my place? Could it have happened without my grandmother, who believed in my grandfather's dreams? My mother and my grandmother, who waited, who planted another Har Singhar upon the wilting away of the first one. So, Razia Sajjad Zahir inaugurated this eco-feminist trend in Urdu literature in the 20th century with her masterpiece, the neglected novel Allah Make Day, Lord Give Us Clouds, which looks at the issues of water preservation as well as man-made disasters like floods, when the natural balance is disturbed because of human greed. If you look at the heroines of this novel, Neeta, Deeba and Kamla, they are not only negotiating their relationships with the opposite gender as women, but they are also activists working to save the community from the consequences of natural disasters in the backdrop of India's independence. I think this is probably a true definition of ecofeminism, that women are not only balancing their relations with the opposite gender, but they are also struggling to protect the environment. So Razia Sajjad Zahir has used a progressive approach in this novel, and this approach also anticipated contemporary ecological concerns in South Asia, like whether dam building is indeed the best solution to water scarcity. I mean, the Indians have had a consensus on the building of dams. You know, Nehru's very famous speech that dams are the temples of modernity. You know, although even there, and Khabar Sahaba obviously knows about this, you know, Sardar Sarovar Dam has been stuck in, Medha Patkar has now become an icon of resistance. But in India, there is actually a consensus over dams, despite the resistance which is going on. In Pakistan, however, I think the consensus is a bit more muted. So this is the reason I think that this novel needs to be reread in Naya Pakistan, because it actually speaks to this discussion over dam building which we are having, and which actually seems to close for now, with the retirement of a particular Chief Justice. So this novel and its central question of the drying up and decline of rivers leading to the collapse of the modern way of life has found a new relevance in our own lifetime, given the perils of global warming, which with an added human dimension, and the newfound fad of dam building in Pakistan, and the fact that Pakistan is now one of the most water scarce countries with a rapidly growing population. And of course, women remain central to these concerns in the 21st century. So I would just like to end my presentation by saying that Razia Sajjad Zahir may have passed on 40 years ago, but her art is alive and will remain alive. With it, she herself will remain alive in Urdu literature. One of her most moving pieces is about the death of her husband. Intazar khatam hua, intazar abhi baki hai. And she quotes her husband, one of the lines of her poetry, which he was very fond of quoting, and I will end by this verse from Sajjad Zahir. Zameen ची बरजमी है आसमान तखरीब पर माइल, ज़मीं ची बरजमी है आसमान तखरीब पर माइल, ताकुब में लुटेरे हैं चटाने राह में हायल, रफ़िकाने सफ़र में कोई बिस्मिल है कोई घायल. So if we look at Razia Sajjad Zahir's life, she was neither bismil nor ghail, and this is just a very brief contribution, and I hope that people in Pakistan and India will rediscover her work, and new generations of people will actually read her and draw their own lessons from her life and legacy. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Raza, for introducing the work of Razia Sajjad Zahir to all of us, and also that she was, in your words, perhaps the first ecofeminist. We would like to hear more about it, maybe later during the discussion, about how she's highlighted that issue between women and the water in this sense. I think we now have Dr. Humaira Ishfaq, who's not here, but we're going to listen to her recording from the University of Beijing, where she is these days teaching. Can we have and can we also turn off some of the lights so that we can see or hear? Is it a video or is it just a recording audio? Okay. She's going to be talking about the folk songs of Potohar and how those reflect the desire or the need of water.
Thank you very much. My study is based on the ecofeminism and relationship between folklores. Ecofeminism, also called ecological feminism, branch of feminism that examines the connection between women and nature. It also adds both a commitment to the environment and an awareness of the association made between women and nature. We can also define this theory as environmentalism and the relationship between women and earth, as foundational to its analysis and practice. Ecofeminism thinkers draw on the concept of gender to analyze the relationships between human and the natural world. Ecofeminism theory does not place women in dominant power, but rather calls for a collaborative society in which one group is not dominant the other group. Ecofeminism can be applied to social thoughts through various methods, which includes ecofeminist art, social justice, political philosophy, contemporary feminism, and literature. Ecofeminism enlightens the connection between woman and nature, culture, religion, literature, and addresses the parallels between the oppression of nature and the oppression of woman. These parallels includes but are not limited to seeing women and nature as property, and men dominate women and human dominate nature. Ecofeminism highly supports that nature and women must be respected rather than treated as property. We can find many examples of women folk songs which are based on women's sorrows as a result of tribal customs, for example, love. For example, love is a custom which is basically said to support the idea of women protection, but it is used against women. A Barawi folk song enlightens the idea of love being against the woman. ए काहू बेजा कस्में खाने वाले तुम पर अल्लाह की मार हो नाज जान कमसिन है जिसकी बद्दुआएं तुम्हें लगेंगी जट कालीन और ऊनी दरियां फरोख्त कर गए लेकिन काहू परी नाज पैकर नाज जान को फरोख्त कर गया तूत का ये शजर बूढ़ा दूल्हा 100 साला लगता है नाज जान सर पकड़कर रोती रही. There is another example of lullaby which is sung by a mother which were sold in the name of love. बेटा मैंने तकलीफ बर्दाश्त करके तुझे जन्म दिया मैं मजबूर थी मेरी रूह और एहसासात को दारू ने गैर के हाथों बेच दिया मैं इस कैद से फरार की तदबीरें करती रही तेरे आने से मेरी तदबीरों पर औस पड़ गई. There is another insight of Pothohari folk song which deals with the ecofeminism. As we all know that the availability of drinking water is a serious issue in the rural area of Punjab, especially the issue in Graver, in Pothohar and other hilly areas, where women have to fetch the water from far-flung areas. This saga is continued since the advent of colonial era. We can see this reality beautifully depicted in the folk song sung by a woman by Pothohar region. There is several folk songs in the area that highlights this issue and these songs are in fact explicit expression of ecofeminism. In the context of ecofeminism, we can analyze a Pothohari folk song, the purpose of highlighting the toiling work and hardships faced by women in these areas while treading uneven hilly paths in the argue the government to take practical measures to get these issues resolved. Another song from the Shahani village reflects the struggle of Pothohari women. My dear father, why you have settled my engagement? Why you have wed me off? Here there are high glens. There are too hard to ascend up, neither it is easier to descend from them. Oh my dear father, where you have settled my engagement, where you have wed me off. Here there are deep wells, while filling the pitcher and while pulling the bucket up, my arms get sore. जिसका असल वर्जन ये है बाबला वे किथे मंगाया ही बाबला वे किथे परनाया ही जिथे उच्चियां ढकियां हले न चढ़ियां न लथियां वंजन अंबंब गईयां वखियां बाबला वे किथे मंगाया ही बाबला वे किथे परनाया ही जिथे खूहियां लथियां घड़ा भरेंदियां लज खिचेंदियां बाहियां माड़ियां थकियां. Likewise, another song that is about village Dhalla tells us about the life of Pothohari women. My dear father, please don't wed me off dhalle. Heart gets painful and liver starts shivering. Arms leave numb while running handmill. Legs get weary while ascending the glens. Eyes lose the sight by continuous. Hairs get rooted off by carrying water overhead. इसका ओरिजिनल वर्जन ये है गरा ढला न देई बाबला ढले दिल पीड़ कलेजा हले बावा रैया चक्की जंगा रैया ढक्की हुण बंजाए नैन बंजाए रो रो सरखुथा पानी ढो ढो Ecofeminism is a Western theory, but we can find various themes and researches towards ethnic as well as cultural studies. Folk songs are not only full of melody, but it is also based on social and oral historical traditions. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very interesting. Also, how oppression and the workload gets highlighted. That our women, there's a link between them, and a very close link between natural resources and women themselves. We now have, again from China, Dr. Zhou Yuam. She is Department of Foreign Studies, University of Beijing, China, who will be giving us a perspective from China and how these issues link up. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Joanne. I'm an assistant professor in Urdu department in Beijing Foreign Studies University. Today I'm very happy to have this opportunity and share with you some of my thoughts on ecofeminism and literature. The topic is a study of ecofeminism in Chinese novel Border Town. And the aim of this paper is to briefly understand ecofeminism in a Chinese context through a close reading of Shen Congwen's novel Border Town. Before talking about this novel, I would like to say a few words about ecofeminism and ecofeminist literary critics in China. Ecofeminism is a relatively new intellectual discourse in mainland China. It was not introduced to China until the 1980s when the nation reopened its door to the outside world as part of its modernization efforts. Moreover, the introduction of ecofeminism was closely associated with the development of the study of foreign literature and literary criticism. Before the launch of opening up and reforms in the late 1970s, literary criticism in China was onefold, that is required to follow the guidelines of Marxism, which stressed class struggles and revolutionary analysis. With the open-up policy in the economy, Chinese academic world saw its own reforms and began opening as well, especially when the nation's fast economic development brought about increasing ecological and social changes. Ecofeminism, with its critical views of capitalist industrial societies and pro-social justice nature, has emerged as a fresh and vibrant approach for literary criticism scholars. It was measured that between the early 1990s and the year 2019, over 1,400 journal articles and 465 master's and PhD theses have been published by Chinese scholars in the field of ecofeminist literary criticism. Scholars mainly introduced the criticism theories and its development in the West and re-examined the West and China's classic and contemporary literary works from the perspective of ecofeminism. Talking about the re-examination of literary works, the majority of Chinese scholars' articles tend to examine the Western works, starting from Jane Eyre, Gone with the Wind, The Scarlet, in which women and nature's relationship are centered. Besides, Toni Morrison, Shakespeare, Thomas Hardy, and Hemingway, and many other writers were reread with ecofeminist perspectives as well. Only a small number of research attempted to explore Chinese literary works. Still, ecofeminism provides scholars a new way to re-examine the works of some iconic modern writers, such as Nobel Prize winner Mo Yan, Zhao Shuli, Jia Ping'ao, and Shen Congwen. All these novelists or short story writers produced women-centered works with intense narratives of nature. All in all, ecofeminism has contributed to diverse the literary criticism and researches in China and strengthen the feminist literary criticism as well. With the economic reforms creating new gender and environment problems in China, ecofeminism will help provide adequate explanations and solutions. Talking about today's novel and the author, Shen Congwen, born in 1902 in the west of China's Hunan province, was an author of fiction and prose and commonly considered the greatest lyric novelist in 20th century China. He was a contender for the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1988 and passed away the same year. Shen spent his early years in the west of Hunan province, which was geographically and politically far from the central part of China and was slow to modernize. In his own words, this is a land forgotten by time, socially tranquil but fond of primitive energy. Grown up in such environment, Shen considers the harmony between humankind and nature as a highest form of life, and he became a writer with a reputation of son of nature, since all his works are intensive with depiction of nature. Most readers know about him from his classic Chinese novel Border Town, which was first published in the year 1934 and regarded as Shen's masterpiece for its splendid portrayal of Chinese rural life. Border Town brings to life the story of Cui Cui, a teenager country girl who lives a simple and carefree life with her grandpa, a loyal and honest ferryman. Like all girls at her age, Cui Cui dreams of romance and true love. Grandpa also wants to find her a husband as guardianship after he dies. At a dragon boat racing, Cui Cui attracts two men, Tianbao and his younger brother Nuo Song. Competition between the two happened in a way of singing nighttime serenades. Knowing that he is no rival to his talented and handsome younger brother, the elder one, Tianbao, abandoned his plan to court Cui Cui and leaves on the boat trip. He is drowned in the river. Then, the younger boy, Nuo Song, whom Cui Cui always secretly desires, feels guilty and regret. Although he is still in love with Cui Cui, he never speaks to her again and decides not to marry her. Soon he was sent away for a business trip without telling whether and when he will come back. Grandpa is worried about Cui Cui's future. In a storm night, the stream floods the field and the pagoda collapses, and Grandpa died. Cui Cui's future becomes uncertain. Her only hope is that the younger boy Nuo Song will be back to claim her. But the story's ending is open. Perhaps this man will never come back. Perhaps he will tomorrow. We may now proceed to scrutinize this novel on the basis of two fundamental premises of ecofeminism. On the one hand, women interconnected with nature. On the other hand, patriarchal conception is the root cause of exploitation of women and nature. Ecofeminism in Border Town. First, the intricate and intimate relations between woman and nature. In his autobiography, the author expressed his idealism of life. He said, "What I want to express is a way of life, a way which is elegant, healthy, natural, yet not against human nature." His philosophy originated from traditional Chinese philosophy called 天人合一, meaning the integration of heaven and earth and human beings. and the author applies this philosophy in his writings. In the novel Border Town, the protagonist Cui Cui has very intimate relations with the nature. The author depicted natural beauty of the West Hunan, where the environment and people are both elegant, healthy, and simple. He also depicted naturalized temper and appearance of Cui Cui. By the way, Cui Cui's name is also taken from the nature, meaning the green color of plants. The girl appears as a perfect image of a noble savage. Her skin was dark, begotten from the sun and wind under which she grew up. Her eyes were clear as crystal, begotten from the verdant mountains and emerald-colored water they beheld. Nourished and educated by nature, she was innocent and lively, like a little animal in every day. Gentle as mountain fawn, she knew no cruelty, distress, or anger. If someone on the ferryboat looked at her, she would stare straight back at him with those shiny eyes, as if she would turn tail to flee to the depths of the mountain at any instant. But once she saw that the person meant no harm, she would resume her play on the riverbank, carefree and cheerful. When Cui Cui hears the younger boy Nuo Song singing for her every night, she also had a favorable feeling towards him, but could not speak out. Thus, the joy and desire for love became her dream of natural environment. In the dream, her soul was buoyed by beautiful song. It floated around, up to the white pagoda, down to the vegetable garden, and back to the boat. And then again it flew over the mid-slope of the cliff. To do what? To pick up the tiger ear grass. As a girl in traditional Chinese society, she was not supposed to express her love towards men. So whenever she thinks of Nuo Song, she had dreams in which she picks up the heart-shaped tiger ear grass. Through nature images and metaphors, the author is able to delve into girls' inner world to express her joy and pain. Then, patriarchal operation on nature and Cui Cui. The small town Chadong is beautiful and peaceful, but it is gradually becoming a center of trade. Modern shops and various commercial activities are developing in the small town. Various commodities are sold in waterfront, and mills run by electricity start to replace human labor. Prostitutes also came, wearing artificial silk tunics, flowered print trousers, and had long, arched eyebrows, big, lavish, scented chignons. Commerce is bloom, and the value of money grabbing begins to influence people. When people talk about the younger boy Nuo Song's marriage, the candidate with a watermill is generally considered better than Cui Cui, who has only an old ferryboat. In China's traditional customs, marriage is decided by parents. Women are being chased and elected and deprived of rights to speak in the name of dignity. In the novel, Cui Cui's marriage is proposed by boy's family to Cui Cui's grandpa, which means that if grandpa agrees, she will marry. She is the silent other, not expected to speak, but to be spoken about. When Grandpa asked Cui Cui which boy she prefers to choose, Cui Cui did not know how to respond. She just kept silent and cried. But how could she make a choice? She has never made a single choice in her life and is afraid of facing the consequence by her choice. In the novel, women are identified with fixed properties. Cui Cui is referred to in the men's discussions of Nuo Song's marriage as ferryboat, to be distinguished from another female candidate referred to as the mill. Who they are and who their names are not important. When the elder brother Tianbao came to Grandpa to propose. What he said also revealed man's expectation towards a woman, nothing but an obedient wife with domesticity skills. He said, Cui Cui is so delicate, I worry that she may be suited to listening to our cheating love songs, but not the humdrum errands of an ordinary wife. I want a wife who can manage household affairs. I want a horse I don't have to feed, but I want it to run fast too. The ancestors must have thought up this saying just for me. According to him, Cui Cui needs to be remote under his value. And after elder brother Tian Bao and grandpa dies, Nusrat blamed himself and went away without telling whether he would come back. He had not thought about what Cui Cui would become of if he also leaves. Cui Cui can do nothing but wait for Nusrat to come back while ferrying the boat. Her destiny has never been controlled by herself. She is ignorant of the society, the patriarchal family, but is bound to it. Although she has done nothing wrong, she seems to be punished by her destiny as a woman. 天人合一, the harmony and the integration between the heaven, earth, and human is a very important principle in Chinese cultural traditions. Human is a part of nature and should always seek unity with nature. Shen Congwen traces this concept throughout his novel. He unfolds women and nature's inseparable relationship, creates native female figures unable to articulate her subjectivity, and critiques implicitly oppression stemming from modern economy and patriarchy. Through this study, I try to show you an example of ecofeminism in modern Chinese literary works, and I believe that some comparative research can be carried out in similar themes in both Urdu and Chinese literary works. Thank you very much.
That was fascinating. Unfortunately, we didn't have that much time, but it was really interesting to see this whole concept, the interconnections with nature, patriarchy, and how patriarchy controls both women and nature and gets embedded in our culture. So we will discuss it afterwards. I will now request my next speaker. I'm so sorry we are running short of time, but if we can give 10 minutes each or 7 to 10 minutes each, then we can at least have a discussion. But otherwise, I mean, I will not cut you short because we've given too much time to the others. We also started late, so let's keep that in mind. Yes. We have now Nusrat Zehra.
थैंक यू SDPI खावा साहब आपका बहुत शुक्रिया चूँकि हम बात करते रहे हैं लाइट्स का आप लोग को नज़र आ रहा है या बहुत लाइट कलर है एनीवे मैं ये सारी हमने देखा कि व्हाट इज़ ecofeminism कि ये दिस इज़ अबाउट नेचर एंड ecology and जेंडर सो हम इसको डिस्कस आगे नहीं करते हैं बल्कि हम ये बात आगे डिस्कस करते हैं कि उर्दू पोइट्री में जो ये कॉन्शियसनेस है वो कब से शुरू हुई और इसको हम कैसे देखते हैं बस एक बात छोटी सी इस कॉन्सेप्ट के हवाले से करना चाहूँगी कि वैसे सब ने कहा कि ये वेस्टर्न कॉन्सेप्ट है बट और 70s में शुरू हुआ लेकिन हम जब बात करेंगे पाकिस्तान की तो उस पर्सपेक्टिव में हम ये कहेंगे कि ये पोस्ट कॉलोनियल पाकिस्तानी कॉन्टेक्स्ट है और इसके अंदर जो रिलेशन है वो उसमें हम सोशियो पॉलिटिकल और जो हमारा कल्चर है और जो हमारी रिलीजियस कंडीशंस हैं वो भी अपने दिमाग में रखेंगे जब हम बात कर रहे होंगे और इसमें एक कल्चरल एक्फेमिनिज्म की भी फेमिनिज्म की भी बात होती है जिसमें कहा जाता है कि जो औरत है वो पैदाइशी तौर पे वो नेचर के करीब है केयरिंग है रिस्पॉन्सिबल है एंड वी ऑल एक्सपेक्ट कि वो ज़्यादा केयरिंग हो और ख्याल करे, बट ऐसा नहीं है, बल्कि ये उसके ऊपर सोशल बार या रोल, जेंडर रोल के तौर पे उससे एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है। हम अब बात करेंगे उर्दू पोइट्री में। उर्दू पोइट्री जो है उसमें हमेशा नेचुरल ब्यूटी को और नेचर को डिपिक्ट किया गया, और 20th सेंचुरी के जितने भी पोइट्स हैं या उससे पहले के, फ्रॉम मी टू मजीद अमजद वी कैन से, फैज़ साहब, नासिर काज़मी, यू नेम देम, उन सब ने नेचर के हवाले से बात की, और जो डिज़ास्टर्स होते रहे उस पर भी वो बात करते रहे, बट बिकॉज वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन फीमेल पोइट्स हेयर, तो मैं ज़्यादा इस बात पे बात करूँगी कि हमने दो बातें यहाँ पे की कि यहाँ पे फ़िक्शन की बात हुई, प्रोज़ की बात हुई, तो ख़वातीन प्रोज़ में भी लिख रही हैं, जैसे आमना मुफ्ती का लास्ट ईयर का नावल है पानी मर रहा है, बहुत मिसाल है। शबनम गुल ने लिखा है अभी एक नावल जिसके अंदर भी एक झील जो खुश्क हो गई है और ज़िंदगी उससे किस तरह मुतासिर हुई है, वो बहुत बड़ा नावल है। इस तरह ज़ायदा हिना का एक अफसाना भी है। लेकिन हम बात करेंगे, अब हम ये बता रहे हैं कि गुज़िश्ता 70 सालों में या 75 सालों में पाकिस्तानी शायरात जो हैं वो गमे जाना के साथ साथ, जो कि कहा जाता था कि सिर्फ वो इमोशंस की शायरी कर रही हैं, वो गमे जाना के साथ साथ गमे दौरा पे लिख रही हैं, और दिस इज़ ड्यू टू दिस देयर अवेयरनेस और उनकी यहाँ, बिकॉज वी आर डिस्कसिंग ऑल्सो द डिजिटल एज। तो जब आपके पास एक्सपोजर है, शायरात को पहले ये प्रॉब्लम होती थी, जैसे इन्होंने भी जिक्र किया कि वो अपने बेटे के नाम से लिख रही थी, तो अब शायरात को, मैं जल्दी बोल रही हूँ क्योंकि ठीक है, तो शायरात के साथ ये था कि वो कहीं जाके पढ़ नहीं सकती थी और उनका माशरे में उनकी पहचान नहीं बनती थी। अब इस डिजिटल एज में और इससे पहले 40s में, 60s में और 90s में ख़वातीन मुशायरों में पढ़ रही थी आकर, और वो अपने अपने ख़यालात का इजहार कर रही थी, तो ये कॉन्शियसनेस जो है वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता बढ़ी। और अब जो मोस्ट ऑफ द फीमेल पोइट्स हैं वो हाईली इंगेज्ड हैं सोशल मीडिया पे भी, और आप कह रहे हैं कि दे आर राइटिंग on natural disasters and climate change और what are the effects। तो हमने इस स्टडी के लिए 3 हिस्सों में तकसीम किया है। एक जो हमारी पहली हरावल दस्ता जिसे आप कह सकते हैं, ज़हरा निगाह साहिबा और किश्वर नाहिद साहिबा, हर सब लोग उन्हें जानते हैं। दूसरा है जिन्होंने यानी 60s में और 50s से शुरू की शायरी, और 60s में और 70s में और अभी तक कर रहे हैं। दूसरी हैं फातिमा हसन, नज़रा अब्बास और शाहिदा हसन, इन्होंने 70s में शुरू की। और तीसरा नाम है सरवत ज़हरा का और शाइस्ता मुफ्ती साहिबा का, ये इन्होंने अपनी 90s के बाद 2000 में यानी इस सेंचुरी में शुरू की। तो हमने जो सिलेक्शन की है उस हवाले से मैं कुछ आप लोगों को कलाम सुनाती हूँ और सिलेक्शन सुनाती हूँ कि कल शाम याद आया, ज़हरा निगाह की है। कल शाम याद आया मुझे ऐसे के जैसे ख्वाब था, कोने में आंगन के मेरे गुल चांदनी का पेड़ था। जो चेंज है आप देखें कि वो कितना उन्होंने बारीकी से पेश किया है कि व्हाट इज़ एलिमिनेट, क्या जा रहा है हमारे घरों में से, क्या ख़त्म हो रहा है। किश्वर नाहिद कहती हैं, मेरा डोनर्स की तरफ है, ये मैंने एक्सट्रैक्ट किया, डोनर्स की तरफ है। मेरा मुल्क गर्म है, मेरे हाथों की तपिश का सबब शायद यही है। मेरा मुल्क गर्म है, मेरे बच्चों के प्यासे रखे जाने का सबब यही है। मेरा मुल्क गर्म है, मेरे बदन पे आबलों का सबब यही है। She is talking about the problems we are facing just because of this climate and our weather and all the problems we are facing. शाहिदा हसन साहिबा, जब हम सेकंड जनरेशन आती है यानी सेकंड हमने ब्रैकेट किया है जो, वो कहती हैं कराची की याद में, पानी पे खिला वो शहर, साहिल पे बसा वो शहर, अब देखा जो छू के तकता ही रहा वो मुझको, टूटे हुए दिल सब के सैलाब में बहते वो लोग, पत्थर सा लगा वो शहर, आंधी में गिरा वो शहर। आप ये देखें वो किस तरह जो उन्होंने देखा है अपने बचपन में कराची को, जिस तरह बारिश होती थी, सफाई होती थी और वो सब, अब जब वो 20 साल के बाद मुल्क वापस आती हैं अमेरिका से, तो वो अपने शहर को किस तरह देख रही हैं, सैलाब या जिस तरह अर्बन फ्लड्स आ रहे हैं और क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं। इसी तरह जो पत्थर सा लगा यानी सारा शहर जो है ना, सारे दरख्त कट चुके हैं, वहाँ पे जो चेंज आ रही है वो यू कैन फील दैट। फातिमा हसन she is more, because she is living here in Karachi, तो वो she is more clear about that and she is directly saying हमको सोचना होगा, पेड़ जो हरा होगा फूल भी खिला होगा, शाख पर सजा होगा खुश भी हो रहा होगा, पेड़ पर खिला होगा बाग में सजा होगा, बाग जो हरा होगा बाग कब हरा होगा, बाग कब हरा होगा, हमको सोचना होगा. She is very clear कि what message she is giving. और as a women ये सारी women voices हैं, they are very clear about कि ये उनका जो भी ecofeminism से क्या उनका problem हो रहा है. अज़रा अब्बास सेम एज ग्रुप की हैं और वही उन्होंने 70s से और 90s तक और अभी भी शायरी कर रही हैं, मशहूर शायरा हैं. बारिश हो सकती थी नहीं हुई, अगरचे सड़कें तैयार थीं कीचड़ में लथपथ होने के लिए, लोग तैयार थे बिजली का करंट लगी मौत के लिए, गटर अपना मुंह खोले पड़े थे, गलियां अपना दम साधे हुए बादलों को देख रही थी. आप देखें कि किस तरह बारिश का इंतज़ार है ना, कर्ब है वो. कमज़ोर छतें भी दांत निकाले हंस रही थी कि अब किसकी बारी आएगी, कौन इनके धमाल से मौत के मुंह में जाएगा. सब आसमान तक रहे थे जहां बादल बहुत गहरी संजीदगी से घूर रहे थे उस शहर को जिन पर वो तने हुए थे, और हैरान थे शहर की मुस्तैदी पर. फिर वो तने रहे बरसे बगैर. बहुत वक्त गुजर जाने के बाद इंतज़ार की धूल में सब कह रहे थे बारिश हो सकती है, बारिश हो सकती है. दिस इज़ द इफेक्ट यू कैन फील कि बिल्कुल डायरेक्टली दे आर क्लियर, दे आर नॉट डिस्कसिंग एनीथिंग एल्स, दे आर डिस्कसिंग कि क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं. और वो सरवत ज़हरा के जो हैं वो हमने जो तीसरा ग्रुप जो अभी 21st सेंचुरी में शायरी कर रहे हैं उनका है, उनकी नज़्म है न्यू मिलेनियम. मछलियाँ मर्तबानों से टकराएं सर, हम हवा बंद शीशों में ठटरा करें, चहचहाहट रिकॉर्डर पे चलती हुई और परिंदे हवाओं से सहमा करें, फूल मसनूई बारिश में भीगे हुए जिंदगी सर्फ और विम से धोया करें, कांच के बोतलों में बिके रोशनी और मौसम तमाज़त से भागा करें, रूह और जिस्म के बीच धुंध सी अपने सायों को किस समत ढूंढा करें, इस ज़मीं से खला तक धुआं ही धुआं, रात के नैन काजल को तरसा करें, ऐनकों पे जमी गर्द की धूप से किस तरह बोलिए किस तरह उसके चेहरे को देखा करें. देखिए वो अपने महबूब इतना सब कुछ नेचर ने तबाह कर दिया है, ये है कि वो अपने महबूब को देख नहीं पा रही है. यानी इतने प्रॉब्लम्स हैं कि शी कांट फील द सॉफ्टनेस ऑफ नेचर एंड लाइफ. आखिरी मिसाल शाइस्ता मुफ्ती की है. सरवत ज़हरा की एक और नज़्म का एक छोटा सा वो कि उनका नेचर से इतना ताल्लुक़ है, वो कहती हैं जब फ्लड आता है तो कहती हैं सिंधु दरिया पछताओगे, जब भूख उगेगी धरती में सिंधु दरिया पछताओगे. सो मतलब ये रिलेशन जो है ना कि वो कितना करीबी रिलेशन है कि वो उससे शिकायत कर रही है अपने सिंधु दरिया से जो लाइफ गिविंग है. शाइस्ता मुफ्ती कहती हैं, धरती से पूछती हैं, धरती की बात कर रही हैं वो. लास्ट ये है कि नाउ धरती हमसे सवाल कर रही है. फातिमा हसन ने कहा था कि हमें सोचना होगा. शी इज सेइंग, पूछती है ये धरती कर्ज क्या उतारोगे, मेरी कर्ब गलियों का गुलसितां सी गलियों का. पूछती है ये धरती नाजनीन कलियों से कर्ज क्या उतारोगे, इन हसी नज़ारों का दिलनशी बहारों का सुरमई सी शामों का. पूछती है ये धरती और जवाब खामोशी. बस कंक्लूजन ये है कि ये एक जैसे बात हो रही थी कि फिक्शन में भी और उसमें भी नो डाउट ये यहाँ पे इमोशंस हैं, मोशन नहीं है, कोई तहरीक के तौर पे चीज़ें सामने नहीं आई है. बट यू कैन से लाइक इंडिया, हमने बात नहीं की, इंडिया में ये बाकायदा तहरीक के सामने आई, ग्राउंड पे मौजूद रही. लेकिन हमारे यहाँ क्योंकि ये कॉन्शियस लोग हैं, ये अदब जो है वो कभी भी एक्टिविस्ट अदीब अलग हैं और एक्टिविस्ट अलग हैं, लेकिन हम मतलब चंद एक को छोड़ के, लेकिन इन सब ने लिखा है. और देखें आप कितने इश्यूज़ के ऊपर लिखा है जो हमारे करंट इश्यूज़ हैं और और इसके ऊपर मेरा ख्याल है कि ये इमर्जिंग थीम है तो इसके ऊपर मज़ीद रिसर्च होनी चाहिए. करिकुलम में लिटरेचर और जेंडर स्टडीज़ के अंदर ये बात डिस्कशन में आनी चाहिए और इस पे काम होने की ज़रूरत है। और डिजिटल एज इज़ ओपनिंग, जैसे कि मैंने कहा ये सब की सब एक्टिव हैं, मैंने ये सारी चीज़ें उनकी फेसबुक से उठाई हैं और उससे ली हैं, तो आई मीन डिजिटल एज है, वी कैन रीड दैम, और इसलिए ओपनिंग न्यू हेराइजन, सो वी कैन होप कि ये फीमेल्स जो हैं हमारे लिए मज़ीद अच्छा फीमेल पोइट्स अच्छा लिख सकेंगी। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू। बहुत ही अच्छा मकाला भी दिया और हमें बताया भी। बहुत से लोग इस नज़र से शायद देखते भी नहीं हैं कि ख़वातीन में भी जो ख़वातीन लिख रही हैं और मुख्तलिफ़ अदवार में लिख रही हैं, नेचर और कुदरत के हवाले से उनकी कितनी डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी है और उसको इस्तारे के तौर पे भी इस्तेमाल कर रही हैं। तो आगे हम डिस्कस भी करेंगे और डिजिटल एज भी उनको एक फैसिलिटेशन दे रही है, और हम सबको जो कि शायद इस नज़र से पोइट्री पढ़ते भी नहीं हैं, हमें भी ये एक बढ़ावा मिल रहा है इस डिस्कशन के साथ। मैं अब आपको बुलाना चाहती हूँ यमुना हसनी। आप रेडियो पाकिस्तान के साथ मुंसलिक हैं, तो ज़रा आप भी अपनी थॉट्स का हमारे साथ।
Thank you, everyone. आवाज़ आ रही है? Okay, yes. So this is a very fascinating discussion and very relevant to our times. We're talking about literature, but we're also talking about climate change. We're also talking about the art of storytelling in prose and poetry. So ecofeminism, which was a word that was coined in the 1970s, and we talked about, it's a very Western concept. However, I would like to disagree, because if you look at other countries such as Japan and Korea and even China, where it came later, women who were part of the agriculture industry and who were mainly working in fields and saw firsthand what was happening to their rivers, to food insecurity, how desertification was taking place, so very well aware of these issues. So I would not say it's a Western concept. I would now say that it is a global concept. We're all raising our voices against climate change. And so this movement, which ecofeminism, which actually means where women coexist with nature, unlike men who try to dominate and exploit nature, women have found a way where we extract the benefits from nature, but we give it back. So it started as a very collaborative activity, as a collaborative movement, and now it's taken a very modern shape. We're talking about climate justice now. So we talked about the Chipko movement, but there have been projects in Kenya, for example, in 1977, where women, they were actively working in forestation of trees. They were involved in replanting of trees to prevent desertification. Then in New York, there was a movement by the name of Love Canal, where apparently there's community was built on a toxic dump site, and women found out that their kids are suffering from birth defects. And when they traced the cause of this, they found that the toxicity and the garbage dump, and then there was a whole plan of how to evacuate that community and shift it somewhere. In another example of ecofeminism, there was a project about in the Mohawk community, in the North American reservation community, where they're talking about they were talking about the milk consumption, and women realized that the milk that their kids were consuming, it contained some toxins. So they banded together and they fought against the company that was producing that milk. So ecofeminism as an activist movement is quite prevalent, and we're all now actually turning into warriors of climate change, and we're turning into activists, and thanks to digital medium, and the digital age and how we're all connected, it's very much there. And coming to prose and poetry, one of the things that we talk about in climate change and from a Western perspective is that for Westerners, when you're using the English language, it's very easy to talk about climate change adaptation and mitigation because the words exist or we have the vocabulary. So I would like to ask the panelists and even throw some light on the fact that in our regional languages or in the Urdu languages, do we have words to describe climate change and jaise mauliyaati aaludgi, and how did this evolution came about? Was as we know, our language is evolving and developing, but did we initially have that vocabulary so that people could understand the meaning of climate change and the impact that it has? So I'll take a pause and I'll actually ask this question. Who would anyone like to answer, whether it's in poetry or prose, that are our regional languages and our national language developed in such a way?
My answer would be a short one. I think if you looked at Dr. Humaira's presentation, she was talking about the songs, and songs are the best sort of folklore, and obviously they are closer to the earth and they're closer to the feel of the soil, and of course in every regional language there are folk songs. For example, in this novel Allah Meg De, on which I presented, it takes its title from this song of the peasants, who are looking at the sky and who are praying for rain. And rain dance is, of course, one of the oldest forms of expressing your emotions, whether dancing or praying to a god. तो ये शेर है, ककड़ी टूटी बैल प्यासा अब तो अल्लाह मेघ दे, धरती सूखी बंजर खेती आज किसान रोहासा, अल्लाह मेघ दे अब तो अल्लाह मेघ दे, अल्लाह मेघ दे. So I'm sure that in other languages also, as Dr. Humaira also said, in Potawari dialect, and I think this is it expresses a very natural human emotion, to express yourself not through some academic thesis like we are sitting here debating, but a very natural urge to express the relationship with the earth and express the relationship with the maker, I think, in the best possible manner. And of course, normally people like us who are language experts, we also tend to look down upon the language because it is more colloquial language. We ahle zaban जिनको हम कहते हैं, वो हैं इन चीज़ों पे कि जी ये हाई लैंग्वेज नहीं है, ये उर्दू महल्ला है, उर्दू मोहल्ला नहीं है. तो लेकिन मेरा ख्याल ये है कि this language actually properly reflects the relationship with the earth, with the soil, with the climate, and I'm sure the panelists here would also agree. I think in every language there is an expression of being at one with the soil, the earth, and शिकवा होता है खुदा से या अल्लाह से या किसी से भी. और ये तो हज़ारों साल की पुरानी, ये विरसा हज़ारों साल की जो पुरानी तहजीब है उधर से हमारे पास आया, वादी सिंध से आया है, और मेरे ख्याल में हर तहजीब में, इवन इराक़ वगैरह में पुरानी स्यूमर बेबीलोन, उन तमाम में आई थिंक मुमासलत है उसमें. आई डोंट थिंक मतलब देयर इज़ एनीथिंग. थैंक यू.
मैं थोड़ा सा इसमें ऐड करना चाहूँगी. मैंने अभी शबनम गुल के नावल का तज़किरा किया था, वो सिंधी ज़बान में है. इसी तरह हमारे लफ्ज़ मस्बत या मनफी नहीं होते, उनका इस्तेमाल बनाता है, लेकिन सैलाब आप कभी भी नहीं कहेंगे कि ये कोई मस्बत लफ्ज़ है. तो ये लफ्ज़ उर्दू में बहुत पहले से मौजूद है. अर्बन फ्लड हम लोग चूँकि डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर के लोग हैं और हम लोग इसको इस तरह बात कर रहे होते हैं, लेकिन नदियाँ वो सैलाब आ गया, या उसके अंदर आप कहते हैं कि बारिश जो है वो धुआंधार बारिश हुई या तबाही फैल गई बारिश से, वो सारे लफ्ज़ ऐसे. और सिंधी में भी एक एक चीज़ के 8-8 लफ्ज़ मौजूद हैं. उर्दू की मैं मिसालें दे सकती हूँ क्योंकि, लेकिन मेरा अपना ज़ाती ख्याल है कि जब ये हमेशा से मौजूद है, तालाब सूख गए तो तालाब भरे हुए हैं वो अलग हैं और सूख गए अलग हैं, वो हमारे इस्तेमाल के ऊपर मुनहसर है. और जाहिर सी बात है, अगर वो कोई चीज़ भी, कोई तबाही, कोई मुश्किल बार बार आने लगे तो वो हम ज़बान ज़द आम हो जाती है और फिर हम लिखने लगते हैं उसको ज़्यादा या बोलने लगते हैं.
We have the words and we have the expression, and of course this has been coming on for years and years, and we are now evolving it. Is there anyone who would like to comment on this point? And should we...
If we conclude here, you're saying, and let's have an interactive session.
Yes.
Then we may have more ideas and thoughts coming out.
So I would...
कोई और कोई point आपका है वो भी बना ले तो फिर हम खोल देते हैं.
So in the end, I would just like to say that we need to really raise our voices and generate interest on this topic. One, on climate change in prose and in poetry in a fictional manner, but also get students and young people interested. And how do you do that? How do we update our curriculum, whether it's of Urdu literature or English literature or literature in general? So we really have to think about building linkages with academia and really making it more interesting, maybe using the digital medium, having more competitions. Reviving interest in this field is very important. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.